Hi guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. Today we've got Sean in the chair. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good. So what's the plan? What are we doing today?
So I'm looking for a big transformation change.
Okay.
Had the long hair for sort of approximately 3.5 years now, and the long beard as well for sort of the last year and a half. I'm getting a little bit bored of it now. I got a sort of minor undercut at about September of last year.
Okay.
And then had that for about five months or so, and was like really enjoying it. And then over the last sort of 4 months, I've felt myself getting a bit lazy with the beard, getting a bit lazy with the hair.
Okay, no worries.
And it was like that's usually a sign that you need to have a bit of a change up, I think, to freshen up a bit.
Of course, mate. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. So what are you thinking? What's your ideas?
So I think, can I show you the photo?
Yeah.
So I think I want to definitely go significantly shorter with both the beard and the hair.
Okay.
Something like this.
Right. Okay.
So I definitely don't want to get like a skin fade kind of thing. I definitely want a little bit of length, but definitely shorten up in terms of the beard as well. Exactly that kind of length.
Kind of stubble.
Yeah, I think this, to be fair, I was kind of considering something like this. I think in the end I was like, this I think captures I think the kind of thing I'm looking for.
Yeah,
so
sure.
So yeah.
Sounds good, mate. Yeah. All right, cool, yeah, definitely. The only concern I've got is that that photo you've got there, the neckline and the sides are a bit short. Where you've added the undercut on are a bit shorter. Yeah. So we probably that looks like there's quite a little bit of length still left in the sides and the back, as in like down the bottom to the ear. Yeah. I think we'd probably have to go on a shorter scale of that. Okay. If that's all right. So we have to use that as the guide when we're doing anything short like this on the back and sides. Yeah,
I think that's absolutely fine. I showed you the other one where they got clean, like tapered it down to that skin there and at the back. I think that's fine. I think it's sort of just trying to get to that, but that,
we just have to use what we've got.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, because it's not a huge undercut at all, but it still is an undercut.
It exists. Yeah. Totally.
So I'd have to use. So that's probably like I don't know, maybe like a number 6 in length or something. So we'd have to try and work down to that. All right. Yeah. But it should be okay. To be honest, it shouldn't be too bad. As long as we leave enough length that we can kind of graduate into that. So it's already it's almost as though like the graduation fitted in there for me to start with. All right. Hair's in good condition though, mate. You've been looking after it.
Yeah, I'm washing condition it fine. So it's like the hair, to be fair, it's more the beard, just in terms of like, I mean, you can see it. It's just a bit all over.
It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Let's tie that up to about there. I think that'll be fine. So what made you grow your hair out then? Just fancy long hair? Is that what it was? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I actually did it at university, so this isn't the first time that I've grown it out really long. In fact, this is a little bit longer than last time, but yeah, this is the second transformation I've done. So I think it was more like COVID came along. Some people did the whole kind of buzz cut. And I just let it grow out, and then I thought, well, do you know what?
Why not?
Long again.
Wish I had done the same thing, Are you sure before we do it?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Because I think a lot of the time people do get a little bit touchy, that they're like, oh no, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm definitely not as nervous this time as I was the last time I did it.
That's good. That's what it's all about, mate. You've got to kind of keep the faith, mate. Keep the faith. It'll be worth it. It'll definitely be worth it.
Yeah, no. It's also just like you know once you do it, once you want to go and do it.
Yeah, of course, mate. 100%, mate. Yeah. Cool, man. Trim a little bit these little bits off there, so it looks nice and neat. There we go.
Awesome.
I'll leave it on there for you. All right.
Yeah, cheers.
So what we'll do now is we'll give a shampoo and a condition, and we'll get the cut in. I think that's actually perfect length actually to start the cut. So yeah, cool, man. So Sean says nicely shampooed and conditioned. So I'm going to start with focusing on the back and sides first. So pop this into a horseshoe section, and I'm going to scissor cut this because we've got the length on the sideburns and the nape. I want to work and descend down from a nice length at the top. Because that picture that you showed me, that's a very popular picture. I mean, I think I've seen that image thousands of times, easily. It's a very popular, like, kind of medium to short length hairstyle. I mean, a lot of guys do that, they kind of get that look when they're not sure or they're growing out from something, do you know what I mean? We're doing the opposite, we're going back to something here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the back and sides down to a length that's going to match up with the undercut that's already cut in. All right, so you're still going to keep length in there. It just won't be probably as long as that picture there, you know what I mean? Because obviously we need the nape. We need a bit more of that length at the bottom there to make that work. So what's made you decide to go through the transformation. Then what has brought you to the point? Because I'm grown. I wish I had your hair right now. I'm growing mine, so I felt a little bit naughty cutting that off. Then I was thinking, oh man.
Well, you're gonna grow out to my length.
I want to go to your length. Yeah, that's what I want to do, mate. Yeah, it's a long process, but it's no rush, you know.
No, part of it. So the reason I'm getting it cut is well, firstly I mentioned it earlier. It's just felt like time for a change because I wasn't maintaining it as well as I should have. Particularly
contrary to how good your hair condition was, which I'm surprised when you said that, because your hair condition was fantastic, like genuinely fantastic. So I don't know what you've been doing wrong. I wish a lot of people would just do whatever you're doing wrong. You know what I mean? So
in all fairness, I think when I say the look, I think it's more the beard. Like it's funny when my mum heard I was coming here, she was like, "I'm so glad you're getting rid of the beard. The hair I like, it's fine, but the beard." And I think that's probably more the issue is just keeping on top of that than the hair. But yeah, it just felt like I needed a freshen up. But I've also got one of my best mates' weddings in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh wow!
So this also felt like a good time. They were very keen for me to get the chop before it and look presentable. So nice. Yeah, it kind of coincided. But nice. But I do also think it's interesting you say you're planning to grow it out like really long. Yeah. I think it's like everyone should do it at least once.
That's the way I feel, yeah. That's exactly it.
It's a good test of patience, particularly in the first 8 to 12 months in like...
That's where I'm at now. I'm on the 9th month mark. So I thought I struggled to say that then for some reason. 9th month mark, yeah, that's where I'm at now. So I'm at that point where it's frustrating me quite a lot. You know what I mean? I'm at that point where I'm thinking, do I take it, do I cut it off, or do I keep going with it? You know what I mean? But I want to keep going with it.
Because you're right, there are times when you're in that growing out phase where you're just like, this looks terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to get it off, and you just got to stick with it. But the moment when you can do you can put it up in a bun and stuff like that, that's the moment you're like, yeah, this is worth it.
That's it. Yeah, I can get it into a top knot, mate.
Yeah,
I can get a top knot, but that's not my favourite look.
No.
So I'm not going down that route of a top knot.
I have to say, I have never been a fan.
No, I've never been a fan of it neither. I think it looks good on some people. Like if you look at Haaland, for example, right? I know he's got a kind of massive undercut and that. And I understand why the undercut plays a big part in growing your hair out. I totally get it, obviously. But, he suits it. He pulls it off. I don't know whether it's because he's a footballer or what, but he just seems to pull it off. Whereas I think, I don't think I'd look good. Do you know what I mean? I look at it and think,
I made the decision, I think partly because I'd had long hair, just standard, no undercut or anything for, a year and a half. So I wanted a bit of a change up, but I did it. You will have noticed this. Mine's not very high. It's it's quite low, and
it's basically the neck hair is what you've done. You've gone a bit higher up from the neck hair, which is totally makes sense. Yeah, that's the best type of undercut you've got though. That is the best type. It's when it goes to here.
Yeah,
you're basically removing half the back and sides, which because you've got so much long hair, it's a bit deceiving. You know what I mean? Because you think I've got all this hair. When it comes to cutting it off, which we've done a couple of videos on the channel of guys who've come in with that, and I've had a lot of clients turn up like that as well. It does change the sort of the new finish, the new look you're trying to achieve. So but I think what you did though was good. It was a good height. So I think if anyone is looking to get an undercut, use Sean's idea. Get it to just sort of just below the occipital bone, just no higher than what a taper would be essentially, because that helps a lot when it comes to changing the look around.
I literally had this day in mind when I did it, because I was like, I've just seen, and you would have seen it on the videos that are on your channel, particularly on the sides, they take it up at that angle and it almost goes up to
it does that
where the hairline is, and it's that makes your options for when you want to go for a shorter look or whatever.
No, 100%.
Pretty limited. So
100%. I'm glad you took something from that, because that's all I really want to try and get through to people is when they are looking for a transformation or whatever, just be a bit more patient on what your current haircut is. So if you have got that undercut where it's very high on the temples and also very high on the neckline, then you're going to have to give yourself about 6 months to grow that out. If you want to have a blank canvas, essentially, because that's what we need. When you're a blank canvas, apart from that tiny bit at the bottom, you are the best blank canvas I could ask for, right? So if anyone is doing that, please, again, Sean's, been a bit of a trendsetter here, Sean, for you, mate. But try and stick to what Sean's done, because what he's done is a really big help to people like me who are trying to give them something new, especially when there's an image involved. there's a level of expectation to what the finished look's going to be like. So just give us that little bit of breathing space to be able to create that sort of look that you want, you know. So yeah, well done, Sean. Thanks for that, mate. I appreciate you backing me up.
No, well, I'm living proof that it is the case. But it's also just like, you see, you know, the evidence is in the videos. Like, if you watch them, you'll see like people's faces when you're like, well, I'm sorry, you know, that's gone up to the hairline. What can I do? And it's, you know, it's horrible
though, because I don't like being like the bearer of bad news. It's never a nice
it's
never
not
a nice feeling. You know what I mean? Being that guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy, but sometimes you have to be, unfortunately. So your best friend's wedding, yeah. Now, do they know you're getting your haircut?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, do they?
Actually, I can't remember if I've mentioned it or well, I have definitely mentioned it in passing, but I don't know if they. Do
you know what?
No.
If they haven't found out, before you give that to charity, just get a selfie with a hat on and just have that sticking out the hat, just so they still think you've got a ponytail.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one, because then they would not expect what you turn up with, like, at all.
Yeah.
Just a selfie, just stick it in, take a big picture there quick, you know what I mean? Just, even if it just hangs in there for a split second.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, oh, he's not done it.
He's not done
Although
it.
the only giveaway is going to be the beard, and they're going to go, hang on a minute.
Yeah, but you know, loads of people change beards. They don't always change the hair. If you've got a picture of you with maybe if you take a selfie with the new beard and keep the ponytail hanging out of a hat, then they won't put two and two together. They might just think, oh, he had a beard trim, fantastic. Thank you for that, mate. You know. So yeah, just working scissor over comb on this haircut, because again, I've already used the neckline as the guide, just because it's obviously there. It's part of the haircut. It's part of the finished look. So I'm using that as my guide. I could have done palm to palm, but because the neckline is so tight in, I didn't want to take too much off the top here. Because if you look at the picture they show me, it's quite a heavy sort of cornered finish. It's quite a lot of length still sitting within the back and side. So I wanted to kind of still keep a fair amount of length sitting through that top as well, so we didn't take too much off. And obviously when you're doing palm to palm, you can use angles, you can tilt the head over and stuff, but doing scissors over comb just works just as well. And I think it creates a nice effect towards the bottom as well. Starting from the guide from the left hand side now. And some elevation in there, so it still lies nice and heavy. So obviously we're talking about your friend's wedding and stuff. Have you prepared yourself for this change?
Yeah,
do you know what you're going to look like after this look?
Yeah, actually I showed obviously the photo of the look I was going for, but I also in my phone had a bunch of photos from the last time I got it cut all off.
Oh, nice.
So that I could be like, oh yeah, that's what I look like.
Yeah, just to remind yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I look like. Good. This being the second time I've done it, I think there is a sense of a reassurance there that you're like, yeah, you know what, I know that this will work out.
Yeah, I know this is gonna look good. Yeah, definitely.
I would say that this is probably the first time I've gone for this kind of look where it's a bit more of an even spread in terms of length. Obviously it's longer on the top and around the top of the sides, but when I got it cut the first time, I got it a lot shorter on the back and sides.
Oh, did you really? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like still like a sort of fair amount on the top still. You know, not obviously compared to yours now, there's not a lot, but I mean, in terms of a short haircut, I wouldn't technically say it's a short haircut.
No.
It's definitely a shorter haircut that would grow into a medium haircut, but it's the shape of it itself has still got a bit of length to it.
Yeah.
Purely for the look that you're trying to achieve, you know what I mean? So. But I think with the kind of it's an image that I really want to see the front of, because I don't even know who it is, and I want to see what the front of it's like, because the side looks nice, but I'm guessing it's just kind of brushed over to one side. But I think it would be quite nice if there was a front on image of that. I'd just like to see what it looks like front on, because it's good seeing it side on, but then how does that top fall into the sides? What's the other side like? That's what I want to know. So it'd be great if anyone does have that image or knows where I could find that image, if you could let me know, that would be awesome. I'm just getting the base of the hairline done, working on run the hair down, and then I'm going to dry it off and just perfect it before we move on to the top.
So you mentioned earlier that you're looking to grow yours out.
Yeah.
Is there any motivation for that? Have you not done it before? Or?
That's one motivation. I've never done it before. The other thing is, the main motivation is that I feel like I want to be able to give honest advice about how to grow your hair out, because I've never done it before, and every bit of advice that I'm giving to clients, like day to day, is from other clients telling me what they went through. So I've never actually experienced any of it myself. Do you know what I mean? So because there's some things that I've done with the knowledge of hair that I think would help people in terms of how to like manage the hair when it gets a bit longer, little tips on how to keep the hair out your eyes, things that I just come across randomly myself. Another bit of motivation is that I've never done it before, and I want to give it a go. And you know, I'm almost 40, so you know, I thought, well, I've got a good head of hair for my age. I might as well give it a go. But a realization that I was kind of getting to 40, I think, mate, and I thought, well, I've still got a decent hairline. I know my hair's gone grey, but I've got a decent hairline. I might as well just, you know, there's so many people coming to me now who haven't, and I should be privileged enough, you know what I mean, to still go with it. So that is genuinely one of the. There's like 3 reasons, mate, and they're them. They really are.
Yeah, I think the thing about learning like the different tips and tricks as you're growing it out is such a good point, because like for instance you've got is it the Alice banding you've got at the moment? I literally went that first 12 months I used Alice bands the entire time.
Yeah.
Because as much as because I have quite thick wavy hair, as much as I would blow dry it, it would just still flop down sometimes in front of my face, and
yeah, same.
And it was just awkward and annoying. So the Alice band is just really helpful right up until the point where, you know, it's long enough for you to put it in a bun and things like that.
Like even when you put an Alice band in, or like a hair band, or whatever you want to call it, it gives you a style. You know what I mean? It's a look, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's quite a strong look.
Yeah.
So I think that still makes me feel like I've got some sort of style, even though I'm growing my hair, which hasn't got a style at the moment. You know, I just can't bring myself to take it in because I don't want to lose it. Like if I take the little flicks off here, to my own perception, I feel like I've got short hair again if I remove them.
Yeah.
They're the thing that's making me feel like I've got long hair, because I've never had these flicks before.
I'm a bit like you, like psychologically, as soon as like you take any length off when you're growing out, you feel like you're going, you know, one step forward, 2 steps backward.
100%.
And I think it's just easier to just be like constantly thinking, yeah, you know what, this is growing and working towards the goal.
100%. I'm just going back over this now, it's all dry, so I've debulked it first, and now I'm just going to perfect it now it's dry and work on connecting it into that taper at the bottom as well. So, I might not try and taper that out too much, because I think it's got quite a nice bit of length actually now it's all balanced. I'm just going back over it just to make sure everything's sitting nice.
And also another reason why I think I was leaning towards this haircut is also, we spoke earlier about how my minor undercut meant we could be more flexible with the look now, and I think it's a similar thing with this haircut. Like if you grow that out, it's a much easier look to grow out because of the blend of the hair.
Definitely.
And I remember I used to get these really low skin fades, and I remember when I then went to grow out, it's really difficult. Yeah,
there's just too much of a contrast from the length on top. So you end up becoming sort of too out of balance quite quickly. I noticed, whereas today, like if you decided to grow this longer or whatever, you wouldn't have too much balance. The top would still be longer than the back and sides because it still has a top heavy finish, but it wouldn't be, the contrast wouldn't be as much, I don't think. So that's why I think it's quite a good choice to go to something like this. I mean, look, it's cool when you get a really cool skin fade as well from something so long. We've done a few of them on the channel as well, where guys are coming wanting to completely different look after having such long hair, which is really cool too. But I think it just depends on what personal preference, what you've had done before, maybe what your intentions are after you get cut at the same time. Like personally, I think keeping a bit of hair is good for a suit. I think it's always good when you're going for somewhere smart, because I think it looks nice. I think it's quite, you can do a few things with it, which is quite nice. You can smarten it up a bit more than you can do if it's just all one length. So, you obviously got a wedding to go to, so I'm guessing it'll look nice and sharp and clean, Whereas obviously a skin fade can be quite an aggressive hairstyle, as we call it, you know what I mean? It can be a bit like in your face. So this is just me cross-checking. Everything's okay, because we've gone from very long to short. So I'm just doing a nice cross-check, make sure everything's nice and smooth. When it comes to thinning the hair out, we'll do that at the end, once I've cut the top and balanced the top in. Back inside, I'm happy with the length. The shape's nice. Everything's sitting in well. It's going to leave me enough length to kind of connect in a good amount of top, length from the top down. So what we're going to do is I'm going to connect it to about halfway down, so we maintain quite a bit of length through there as well, because I want that heavy flow sitting into here like that. I want the top to kind of fit in with this bit here. So what I'm going to do is take a section from just above the round of the head, like so, and bring this down to that point of reference, just here. So what you get now, this comes back in that lovely flow. Right, last section now on this side. Now cut the back in, and we're diagonally across the back. So we don't want it to be too high and cut up to here, then it'll fall like a 90s style. I want to keep some balance here, so I'm working this and dropping this down to roughly where the occipital bone is at the bottom there. And the higher up I go, I'm just pulling it out slightly, so again it layers on top of itself. It doesn't just sit like a perfectly straight line. And cut our guideline in first. Just pulling away from the head slightly. And then we'll take some off the top now as well, so let's face the mirror. We'll take, well, I have the balances for the sides, so I reckon still keeping it quite top heavy. I don't really lose about that. And that'll sit really nicely for you. Happy with that?
Yep, that's absolutely fine.
And that matches the bottom of the recut. going to start on the side and bring it down and just take off the tiniest little bit, and just to match. It's not mega front heavy, but it's still got length at the front. Now I'm going to add the razor in here as well, just to give it a nice loose texture. I just want to give Sean some options as well, because the picture's very smooth, but I think with Sean's texture of hair, we could create a few different things with this. So I think it's nice if he's got a few options that he wants to do. So if he gets up the shower and he scrunches it, he'll have a nice wave to the hair. If he blow dries it, he'll have a lot of a smoother finish like the picture. And just debulking back of it through here, because obviously super thick hair will all bulk up towards here. So I'm just using the razor to thin that out and add a bit of direction there too. Just smooth over the hair too. Right. A bit of heat on this just to dry it off. A little bit of leave-in conditioner as well. Again, just keeping that conditioner there. It's gone from long to short. You want to make sure the condition's good. This will help a little bit too. So I'm going to finger dry this now. As it's nearly dry, use a powder brush just to smooth this off now as well. I'm just going to finish off just putting some texture in now. So thin out the back and sides. Over this way for a minute. To the sides, I'm just going to point cut into it. This is a bit like what thin scissors do, but just a better finish. A less jagged finish, a less serrated finish, and a bit more of a sporadic finish at the same time. It doesn't take any longer than what it would do using thin scissors. So. So, last with some cold air now. This sets the style. Takes any frizz, and then that's all. There we go.
Lovely.
So, let's move on to the beard now. Alright, and then we'll style the top out and show you exactly how you do it. Alright, buddy. So, how short would you like to go on the beard then? What are you feeling?
I think not too dissimilar to what the not too dissimilar to what's in the photo, to be honest. Like really, I think really short.
How thick is your beard underneath?
Pretty
is it quite thick, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
This is the bit when the commenters are going to go, this is sacrilege for getting it all off. It just needs it neatened up. But yeah, I think it's just, I've had it for a while now, and it's just looking for a completely different look.
Well, yeah, you don't have to explain yourself to the commenters, mate. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone, man. It's your look, you know. We'll do about I think about 1.5 will be a good length, I think, and then that'll give you the kind of like that short stubble.
Yeah.
And then we'll shape it. I wouldn't drop it down as low as you've done it. I'd keep it nice and full, because that's what a beard is. I'd keep it a little bit fuller than that. So try and fill in these bits here. Try and match that up to here if we can. Okay. And then, do you want the neckline shaping or do you want it more tapered? What would you prefer? So a taper is more, it blends out, so it looks more natural. A line is obviously what I've got. It's a sharp line.
Any recommendation for me, or is it?
I don't know yet. I haven't done it yet. So I'll have to let you know when we get to that point. I haven't seen. Do you want to get to that point first and have a look? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Right, keep your eyes closed for this one for me, please, if you don't mind, mate.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to comb the beard out first. I'm going to put a 2 in this first because I don't know how thick this is going to look on the cheeks. I think it might look a little bit thinner on the cheeks than what we think. Because I was combing it out, I can see through the beard at this point here, but I can't see through the density of here. So I'll put 2 on first and see how that looks. All right. Go over to the side for me, will you? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, 2. 2 is probably the shortest on the cheeks I'd go. Then I do a 1.5 around this bit here, but okay?
Yeah, no, you have like the cheeks is there, but it's nowhere near as thick as the underneath.
Yeah. So this is where we use a little bit of our trickery when it comes to beard trimming, where we do bits that are shorter in certain areas so it all looks the same density, you know? One guard on, 1.5. Just do 1.25 on the moustache, I think. And then we'll work down to 1.5. Have anything else? And then work a 1.5 into sideburns here. Just on a little darker bit there. What I might do, a closed one going down actually. And just taper that out a touch so I can start a new line. And just taper out towards the bottom here. Now I would probably put a line in this, to be honest, because it's not that even at the bottom, and I think it would look nicer if we made it a bit more symmetrical. If that's all right with you.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool.
To me.
So I've closed one now. A little bit there.
When you say it's not symmetrical, is that due to the way the hair grows, or is that the...
It's the density of your beard.
Density.
Yeah, do you mean at the bottom here? Yeah, it's just where the hair grows as well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've always felt like mine at the underneath the neck has a very weird habit of just going off in certain directions in one place and another direction in another place. It's...
The majority of that's done in terms of length. What I'll do is I'll shape it up now, and then we will go from put the lines in all over first, and then we'll work on just perfecting it. There we go. I'll take this line a bit higher. Don't want to drop it down too much, and I'll take it a bit higher. Trim it nice and level across the lip, so you can alter shape. Look at it with the creases there, just there, and that will hug the face nicely. Okay, still a nice full beard, but a nice shaped beard at the same time. Just wear that straight out from the centre to my left hand side. And just tidy up the edges here just to give it a nice fullness and symmetry. Match it from the centre to the right hand side. A little line just to cap anything off. A slight taper to the neckline I think looks quite nice because you've still got the sharp line but it just takes the harshness out, it just looks nice and neat. And just finish it with a freehand. A little bit of beard and shave oil now, just to go over the lines. Now, a little bit more beard oil. Have a little hairstyle for me if you don't mind. There we go. So there is it all done, mate.
Loving that.
Nice,
really, yeah. Thank you very much.
Very different,
really,
mate.
very different, but yeah, no, definitely what I was after. So yeah, top job. Thank you.
There we go. So, in terms of finish on the hair, how would you like it to look? Like, what sort of finish would you like?
I think keeping it reasonably natural and wavy. I think I'm not too. I'm kind of leaving it up to you, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
To just do whatever you think's best. Not too particular.
In that case, I'll use a little bit of clay. So this is like a nice soft clay. This one. So it'll give you a sort of smoother finish. It'll make it look like you've got product in your hair, but not an awful lot. But it'll just give you that flow that we've been wanting from the haircut, from the picture. All right.
Nice.
It's quite a nice natural finish, more than it being like a. Because I think that picture is quite wet.
Yeah.
And I think a natural finish would be a lot nicer. I think for your colour hair, you know what I mean. So dark hair like mine, yeah, wetter finish always looks good. Anything with a sort of a kind of like your colour hair, your texture of hair, I think dry is always quite nice at the same time as well.
Yeah, I agree. I tried wet looks in the past and the colour just doesn't work that well.
I think this is probably with the wave that you've got in your hair, especially on a hot day like today. I feel like, remember the picture of the guy with the kind of the skin fade on the sideburns, almost the taper on the sideburns? I feel like that is probably a better finish for your hair than the other guy with the dark hair. I think his hair's too straight, but it's still the same kind of style where it's heavier on top. It just doesn't sit as like flat on the sides, but you still get the same kind of thing where you've got the length through the top, the length through the sides. It's not as short. You've still got, you know what I mean? You've still got length in there. So it's a good thing to base it off for sure.
Yeah, and it's good to work with the wave because it's a good,
Oh, definitely.
It's definitely something you want to work with rather than against.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I would never ever work against it, man. I don't think you could ever really work against it, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it's just too strong.
No, and I've tried to do these kind of like straight haired looks in the past, but the wave just, particularly at this kind of length, just always comes through.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you
so
can kind of
you
see.
might as well, you know, go with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely chuff with this one. It's really.
It looks nice.
Really
That's a really
taking
lovely
good
finish
shape.
on you, that mate. There
Class.
we go. So I'll show you the back and sides.
Nice.
There's the finish you get. So loads of natural wave sitting there, a lot of heaviness still sitting there, and also the taper's kind of blended in with everywhere else at the same time, so you've got all that shape towards the back too.
Loving it.
Nice, isn't it, man?
Yeah, no, really.
Very
happy
big
with
difference.
that.
Big,
Really
big
happy
difference.
with that.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I
crazy,
I did worry.
crazy,
Big
I know.
transformation.
Yeah, 100%.
But no,
yeah,
I'm really,
definitely.
yeah, that's proper good.
No,
So
it's nice,
thank
man.
you.
It looks good.
This is great. Really
Thanks,
happy
man.
with this.
And the thing is as well, it's so easy to manage. Just literally just, you don't have to put a paddle brush through it at all if you don't want to. That was more just to kind of give you a bit more flow. You could just let it dry naturally and get the same kind of finish, but with a bit more wave.
Yeah, I have got the paddle brush, so I
have you?
kind of
Awesome.
do both. So
Cool, man.
class.
Wicked. Thanks for that, mate. That was
Wicked.
awesome. Thank you, Sean.
No problem at all. Thank you. Seriously, by the way, this is a seriously good job of this because my hair is not always the easiest.
I love it. You know what I mean?
I think it's top quality.
Thank you very much, man.
Thanks so much.